Good morning, everybody. We are back again. It's myself and Shakes, the man with an educated left foot. That's Brakit. Brakit once said that Shakes with a very educated left foot. But I've noticed the majority of people kicking with left, they've been stars. If my memory serves me well, very few who are right-footed are stars, but the left-footed are real stars. Shakes, welcome to the show. My name is the Saubrey Boyz Walefatshe. TBR Solutions Sports Program is the name of the show. Shakes, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Saubrey, for having me on the show, and welcome to our viewers as well.
You know, during the week, we had a press conference with Mamelodi Sundowns. Rhulani spoke something very, very powerful in that press conference. He said, guys, we have a bigger problem than we think. That was Rhulani. And I want to take it from there. He said, we have a mental problem in this country. I hear that the young man, DJ Dimples, has just passed on after having paid tribute to Ricky. All right. Fortunately enough, I've known Ricky through my son, and I was heartbroken. You know, I spoke to Ricky, I think, twice last year after having noticed that he might not be well. I offered myself to him. I said, Ricky, if you want to talk, let's talk. Then he said to me, perhaps I'm okay. Everything's under control. 3 days I visited my son at his place. They were talking over the phone for a very long time. Then I asked my son, who are you talking to? Say, Ricky. He said, let me speak to him. I offered myself again. Let me speak to you if you want to talk. He said, Paps, don't worry. Everything is under control. Now, I'm starting there. Rhulani spoke of mental illness, all right? And then I'm telling you what happened. My interaction with Ricky. Very nice young man. He came here to my place, to my son, very respectful. There's a show that we dedicated to him, myself and Safar. Very respectful, very nice, very intelligent, you know. You know, Ricky would do so many things. And that's me. I do so many things. And yeah, man. And then look at the impact he has made. How many youngsters that he helped, you know? So normally people who are game changers, they don't last. They don't last. Now it's DJ Dimples. It's not only that. And Rhulani was correct to say, guys, we have a mental health as a big issue. As a big issue. Shakes, the players, you were a player yourself. They undergo that. You know, when I was training at SAA, your wife was working.
Yeah.
I was training about finance. Then after the session, she came to me on the side, said, you know, you are teaching us something very, very good. No wonder, have you approached soccer teams? That was your wife's words. Yeah. Teams like Mamelodi Sundowns and all that. And fortunately, when she said that, Peter had spoken to me. I think it was a year before that, to say, you know what? I would like you to come and train Mamelodi Sundowns players. But this is what Peter did. He said, I'm not gonna suggest myself. I would say to you, approach the team because there is a protocol. Approach the team. Of course, they'll come to me as a head coach and I'll endorse it. That's how Peter was thinking about you guys. By that time, you're still playing for Sundowns. And then I did that. Unfortunately, it never went well. I was pushed from pillar to post. Finally, I said, I gave up. So I said to her, I've tried, man, but, you know, but I'm happy with what PSL has done in terms of them coming up with this transitional program. It's a brilliant, brilliant program. And I think our players need it. The unfortunate part, the former players like you and others have not been treated, you know, although they believe, but in any case, to be fair to them, you cannot just go to the sea and finish the sea, all right, or an elephant. You must start somewhere. And I like what Dlamini, the CEO or the operation chief executive of MultiChoice said when I interviewed him, that it's not only us who identified that problem. There are a whole lot of people who have identified that problem. Now we expect contribution from everybody. It's not only MultiChoice. Any other sponsor can come in and assist because this is a problem. It needs a lot of resources. When I talk resources, I talk finance, time, human resource, and all that. All right. And he was correct. He was spot on. So I'm talking about this subject. This is going to be our morning show now. We'll talk about Derby later at our second segment. I'm talking about this because what Rhulani said was really spot on. And Rhulani is very young, eh? But let me tell you, wisdom does not come whether from young or old, you know? Wisdom comes from everybody. I mean, Rick was very young, but the boy was very intelligent, I can tell you now. So this is, you know, very interesting. And I asked him a question in that press conference. I said, any chance of us seeing George Maluleka playing this season? Because I may be wrong, I haven't seen George Maluleka play. Then he said something very powerful. He said, George, I respect him so much. His mentality, he's a professional, knowing exactly what he wants. He comes to the training every day, punctual, with a smile on his face, train hard. Can you imagine you train hard, but you know that your chances of playing are slim? Then he said, I respect him for that. And I think that's a good thing. It's a good thing. So you know better, you're a former player. How does this mental issue play? You know, people see you on TV, guys, playing for Bafana, you went overseas and all that. The expectation of the society is too high. With this social media bombarding, you know, when social media started, to be honest, I didn't know what was happening. And then these boys, they put me through, I would go there and then I would talk whatever that I would talk. But as time goes on, then I realized I stopped using social media. I think for a year or two. But as time goes on, when I saw my heroes on social media now, like your Robert Kiyosaki, Richard Branson, Rhulani, that all the guys are there, I started thinking, Because I'll tell you what, me, I learn by observation. And there's nothing that motivates me more than I want to make money. You know, yesterday I had a chat with my wife and my neighbor here. I said, the reason I want to make money is not to make money to be rich and boast. No, that's not that. I want to change your mindset, Shakes. that's it. I'm not interested about material things. The mindset. You know why I'm saying I want to change mindset? Shakes, I'm from a poor family, one.
Yeah.
Secondly, I'm a qualified teacher. I was a teacher. You know how teachers struggle.
Hey. Mm.
You know, and then I would see how we would struggle with my colleagues. You know, one day I was telling somebody a very nice story. It's a nice but very bad, lamentable, and say the majority of us teachers in school would even know the kids who are from the well-off houses and look after them. You know why? During the month, we don't have money for petrol. Then these kids, they help us. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? Vice versa. You are a teacher. Then, well, in my case, it was different. I was a DJ. I was big. So these kids liked me. It was not easy. It was easy for them to come closer to me. So you get my point. But now when I sit back, remember the big R, it's all about the positive R words. Those are our principles. When I sit back and reflect, what lesson can I draw out of that? Then I realized, this was a mess. This was really a mess. It's like a child leading a child. You know, when we have so many young kids getting kids, being kids themselves, they still have to be taken care of, and they have their own kids. It's a mess. They cannot teach those kids. Me, as a grandfather, I must teach both my kid and her kid. Do you get a point? Others, they don't even have grandfathers or grandmothers. Now, do you expect those kids to do well? I'm talking about the offspring, the grandchildren. It can be, because this kid is still a kid. She still wants to party and do whatever. And on the other hand, he's got a kid. She's got a kid, or he has a kid. Because being a parent, it's a full-time job. Full-time job. So I'm just giving you that picture, that some of the illness that we find ourselves, they are caused by those things. Now, I was highly involved even in politics. Minister Thulas Ngwenya was my chairperson at some point here in Tembisa. Panyaza Lusufu, we served in the same structure. And you know, I would say to you, I groomed Panyaza, you won't believe it.
Yeah.
But I decided to leave politics for one simple reason. I looked at my boys, I said, hey, my boys are young. They'll need me full time. I left. Minister Thulas Ngwenya came to my house, he tried to convince me to hang in there. I said, now I've made up my mind. Panyaza Lesufi too tried to speak me out of the idea of forgetting about being in politics. And guess what? Now I'm running my business from home. Still, I'm not available for my kids, to be honest, because I work most of the time. I was saying now before we start the show that Shakes, I'm tired. I'm working hard. You know, my body, I could feel that I've taken a beating. All right? But it's fine. It's part of the game. You understand? But one thing for sure, when they wake up, they see me here. working, and I sleep home. You know, that brings a little bit stability in their lives. Hence, I'm saying, big up what you're doing to sister. Be there all the time. Your presence is the biggest motivator than any other. Unfortunately, all people are doing the same.
Yeah.
Shakes, I wanted to start there about mental illness as Rhulani started the debate. I don't know what to take. You are from there. You know the pressure that you guys are facing. And then I just want to hear your comment about this subject.
Yes, Pastor, thanks for the opportunity. It's a very, very important subject, and it's reality. It's what's happening. You know, we're going through a lot as a human race. At this point of time in our lives, with the COVID as well, there's just so many changes that are going on in our lives. You know, and this is real, you know. Mental health is a real issue. First of all, I'd just like to pass my condolences to Tumi Dimples. You know, he was a close friend of mine, plus Saubrey. I played with him at Vets. He was a football player. He could have played football before he became a DJ. He was left-footed as well. We were talking about left-footers earlier. He was a left-footed player, you know. I'm so touched, you know, because I don't know what's happening for ourselves. We are losing these young, talented boys, you know, through this mental health as well. Well, Dimples, it's not mental health, it's something else. But just losing these young, talented boys is a big loss to us, you know. So yeah, coming back to the subject of mental health, you know, I went through these things in my sporting career. There was a time when I went through what George Malulega is going through. When Stoichkov was the coach, I was training alone, not even with the team. I was not even being included with the team. So you have to be strong mentally. You have to tell yourself that you are a professional player, and you're going to do what you are paid to do, which is to come to training and train. And you know, Brasobs, when you are a professional player, you can't let your guard down, because the minute you decide, well, he's not playing me, and you let loose and you start being ill-disciplined, when you get the opportunity to play and then you don't grab it because you are not fully focused, and that's where you lose it, you know. So you must, as a professional player, you must always be ready to play, you know. Your mind must be ready, your body must be physically ready to perform. It's not easy. It's not very easy, especially, you know, when you've been sitting out like George Malulega so many times and the team is doing well. To come in there every day and work hard is not something that's easy to do, and it's very commendable when you hear what the coach Rhulani is saying about him, you know. And hopefully he will get his chance soon and he takes it with both hands, you know. I just wish him all the best, you know.
Mm-hmm. Shakes, you know what? While they're still there, the issue of dimples, I still believe it's a mental health. People haven't understood that the biggest killer in the world is not HIV and AIDS, is not corona, is not hypertension, is not high blood, sugar diabetes. It's stress. Once they say, Shakes, you are diagnosed with TB or HIV, you start stressing. You start stressing. So once you start stressing, stress can cause anything. You can have a stroke. You can be blind. You can have a heart attack. That's stress. You know, while I was still an official, There was a lady, she was my leader. She once conducted a training. I think it was in 1996, if not 7. A training about stress. What a powerful training. I haven't forgotten that. But I can't remember what was happening. The training, still rings a bell to me. So we speak now, she's in Durban. I spoke to her, I think, last week. Not only last week, I've been speaking to Amen. I still want that training because I still want to train a lot of young people and other people how to deal with stress. Stress is a major killer, Shakes. And you know what? I want you to pass this message to your wife, Umpile. I commend Umpile very much because I see how committed she is to your tournament, to your son. You know what? That's what you need. Earlier on, I was saying, people think that if you don't have money, it's you only. Eh? And I can understand with Dimples. Remember, there was lockdown. The economy closed down. They could not perform anymore. Now, because they could not perform anymore, I'm not saying that's the case. I'm just giving my own theories. Because they could not perform anymore. And then they had obligations to meet. And those obligations could not be met. And there is pressure from society. You understand? Hence, I'm saying I still believe it was a mental issue. I'll give an example of what happened to me not long ago. Last week, I bought a part for a car for my younger boy. And then when we came here trying to sort out it was a wrong part, I returned it to the shop. A well-established motor spares, which has been there for more than 20 years. When I spoke to them, they told me that. They said, now, bring it here, we'll sell it, and then we'll refund you. I phoned them on Monday last week, not this Monday. They said, we don't have money now. Give us till the end of the week. I left them. I phoned them again yesterday. No. We managed to sell it, but currently we don't have the money in the till. Now, I want to say, not only us are having financial problems, even companies. All right, I see it every day, even companies. So if you don't have money now, don't crumble. Be strong. Continue to do what you do. Be consistent and be patient. Some of the things we don't have answers, but God has answers. If you can believe, you'll make it. I say the biggest killer in people's life is losing hope. Never lose hope. You must always be hopeful. Why all these religions? These religions, they just sell us hope. You go to the Christianity, they'll tell that Jesus is coming. That hopes, keeps us alive. We go to church, we are hopeful. If I go to church, I'm a Christian, by the way. So I'm just giving you why I'm saying hope is important. I read a book by a guy who survived the concentration camp. The concentration camp were all those Jews that Hitler, Hitler was against the Jews. He was anti-Jews. He put them in a concentration, small room, closed them there, thousands and thousands of them in one room. So this guy said that the room was closed all over. There was no sign of light or whatever. But he said there was a small hole there. And that hole, you would see when it's day, you would see when it's night. He said, by looking at that hole every day, it gave me hope. And guess what? He said, people were dying next to me. And those people, as they were dying, they were not taking them out. They were dying, rotting there. And this guy had to survive those conditions. You know, your body, your senses adjust to the environment. You lost sense of time, you lose everything. But this guy said, because of that light, I kept on hoping. He said one day when they released us, he was the only one who survived. So hence I'm saying, we must keep on hoping. Shakes, that's the bit I can say about this particular subject. Fortunately enough, you have said you experienced things. So yeah, I want to hear from you as our closing remarks.
Yeah, Prasobri, I just think it's really a subject that needs a whole look in. You know, it's a very important subject that we need to talk about, that we need to raise our awareness about. You know, and us as men, we need to be able to talk. You know, to talk amongst each other. I always hear people talking about men's conference, but I think at the men's conference, this is what should be being discussed. You know, men must be able to talk about their issues and bangafeli phakathi Prasobs. Yabona singafeli phakathi. We all got issues like you said now. You know, you might think you're the only one without money, but even companies, they don't have money. It's just the situation that we are in at the moment. And situations won't last forever. So it's important that we talk as brothers amongst each other, you know, and strengthen each other. We need each other at all times, you know. That's what brothers are for, to lift each other up. And we need to do that, because some people are dying inside, you know, from all these stresses, you know, and we are losing a lot of people that are close to us, people that we love, because of mental health. So I think it's a very important subject that needs to be spoken about and be made aware. You know, men are scared to talk, and they feel like people will laugh at them, but it shouldn't be like this. Things shouldn't be like this. You know, we should be more open to talk about these issues before we lose a nation.
Shakes, thank you very much. I really appreciate it. It was nice doing this show. I think this is the bit that we can do. And congratulations for you being consistent to come and help me to do the show. It's very difficult. I don't know whether people understand. We have other obligations, but we try our best. But thank you very much. I really appreciate it. And you're a very easygoing person. I hope people interact with you going forward. They'll see what I'm saying. And I'm not saying here because you are here. You're an easygoing person. That's a skill, and that's an asset for a person. All right. Keep up the good work. Let's see Umtimando Mngane. I want to do the Umtimando special one day. Shakes, thank you very much. May you greet the viewers farewell. May what is his name? Dimble's soul rest in peace. And then his family must understand he has run his race. What we can only do is the lesson that we should draw from what he tried to help us to understand in the world. Fortunately, know him as your friend. You know what? God is not stupid. God doesn't make a mistake. And God has a plan, and God's plan is perfect. We also have plans, but God's plan is perfect. Shakes, thank you. Just bid the viewers farewell.
Thank you, Prasobri, for having me on the show, and thank you to our viewers as well. You know, it was very important that we we have a show like this, you know, just to raise awareness and to say, you know what, it's very important. Mental health is a big issue in our country. So yeah, thanks, Bra Saubrey, for this subject.
Thank you. Thank you. I must thank Rhulani for bringing it to our attention. Yeah, so yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Shakes. Much appreciated. Hello, everybody. My name is the Saubrey Boyz Walefatshe from TBR Solutions. We decided to do this because I'm sure you have seen as much as I saw that most of our young people, not only young people, they die these days because of stress or pressure that they undergo through. It could be caused by a number of issues. So the mental illness is a serious problem in our country. But now I want to talk to you about the members of GPF. Members of GPF, they go on pension or they resign. Sometimes they are made to wait 3, 4 months, sometimes even 2 years, waiting for their money. And you can imagine, if a person can wait such long, what would happen to their assets? They will be exposed, all right? So they're in danger of losing those assets. So at the end of the day, it affects them mentally. Now, we, as the Big R or TBR, we are there to help those who want to get their money expeditiously from the GPF by simply using the GPF rules and the relationship and the respect. That's all what we do. Now, you know very well that people can retire at the age of 60, especially when you're a government employee and above. And then if you retire earlier, it is called early retirement. Because it's early retirement, taxman takes you more. If you resign, taxman takes you more. Now, what we do, we help people to get their money in such a way that at least as much as they're going to be taxed, but they will be taxed better, all right? And with us, working with other stakeholders that help us to help people out there, we help people to retire at the age of 55. As long as you're 55 and above, you can be able to retire. And one of the advantage with us, you'll be able to get 2 1/3 if you want. You can get 1 1/3 if you want, but nothing stops you to get 2 1/3 if you want. At the same time, we also help people to invest. And as they invest, we make sure that whenever they earn every month, they earn from their interest rather than their principal investment. That will ensure that their money grows for the next 30, 40 years, all right, before it can get depleted, all right? So those are some of the things that we do. So you may ask, we have done a lot of people whereby we made sure that they get their money as quick as possible by simply reminding our colleagues in the GPF employment sector of their roles and their responsibility. Hence, I'm saying we have that relationship with them, and then, but that relationship is based on mutual respect. So if you want to get more, just drop us a WhatsApp, then we'll be able to come to your rescue, I think.